Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new on this YouTube channel, my name is Milton Fonkwa, and for those who are old, they already know me. Thank you so much for joining. For the new subscribers, if you haven't subscribed and you are new, please do not forget to subscribe. Alright, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that when I post a new video like this one, you would be the first to watch. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about studies in Ireland, alright? And within this video, I will also be talking about visa requirements, the scholarship, the application form, the tuition fee, and the application in general, alright? So I want to talk about studies in Ireland. First of all, we all need to understand that Ireland is one of those countries in Europe where a lot of international students move to seek to obtain a bachelor's degree, a master's or a PhD certificate or degree, alright? And this is because of the way Ireland is, and most probably because Ireland is an English-speaking country, alright? Yes, Ireland is an English-speaking country. So before you even move to Ireland, you need to consider your English language first, alright? That is the first thing you need to consider. Now, as an international student, if you are moving to Ireland, you must apply for, or if you intend to move to Ireland, there are a host of universities that you can choose between, which includes the University of Cork, the University of Limerick, Trinity College Dublin, alright, Trinity College, and a host of other universities, a host of other colleges, and a host of other institutes of technologies, alright, in Ireland. I just named the few that I could, alright. So that is what you need to know. And again, you need to understand that unlike some other countries in Europe where tuition fee is free, in Ireland there is no free tuition, alright. You are going to pay a tuition fee. You are going to be paying tuition fee, or let me put it that way. And again, in most European countries like Finland, Denmark, and some other places, European students will not pay tuition fee. Students coming from Switzerland will not pay. Students from EEA member countries will not pay as well. But in Ireland, they are going to do, let me say, they are going to pay their tuition fee. European students will pay tuition fee, but their own amount is going to be smaller compared to that of internationals or you and I, alright? That is to say, if my tuition fee, for example, or yours, if you are applying to an Irish university, yours is like 10,000 euros a year. It means that a student coming from Europe or Switzerland is going to pay like 5,000 euros a year, alright? They get a discount of about half the price international students are paying. So that is what we should all understand. Like I said, English is the main language in Ireland, and that is why a lot of students look forward to that direction. And now, there are universities, I have named few. If you intend to apply to Ireland, make sure Google is your friend. You check more, you check all the details, and you apply. In Ireland, you are going to obtain a bachelor's degree, a master's, or a PhD degree, alright? Because almost all the universities there will offer these programs, okay? That is said. Now, there are certain things you need to know when you want to apply to Irish universities. You need to consider the documents and the requirements. The most important requirement I want to emphasize here is the English language proficiency. Alright, if you are applying to an Irish university, you need to make sure that you have the IELTS score, alright, or the TOEFL score of band score at least 6, okay, for IELTS. But for TOEFL, I think you need to have something like 70 in total, alright. Then that is to prove your English proficiency. I understand some of us come from English-speaking countries like South Africa, Nigeria, but it would be good if you check the English requirements to see if there are exemptions, alright, because most of these universities in Ireland, they will not give you that exemption, alright. So you will need to prove that you have IELTS score or the TOEFL score. Now, for you to apply for a BSc in Ireland, these are now the requirements I'm talking about. You need to have graduated from high school. You need to have an ordinary level certificate, an advanced level certificate, a Waec certificate, or any other equivalent to what is coming from high school, or anything equivalent to this that you obtain from your high school. It depends on the country too, okay? Now, the next document you need if you want to apply for a master's degree in Ireland, you will need to show that you have obtained a bachelor's degree abroad or in Ireland, okay? If you want to apply for a PhD position in Ireland, you need to have finished a master's degree elsewhere. You also show that you have graduated from a university with a bachelor's degree, and also from your high school, all right? You need to show your high school documents, your bachelor's degree and transcript, your master's degree and transcript in case you are applying for PhD. These are the documents required. In most cases, a CV will be asked, all right? You will need to prove or to show that you have a CV, or to provide a CV. And sometimes too, you will need to write a motivation letter. A motivation letter is just to support your application and to prove to the admissions team that you are okay and capable of doing a program or offering a program at the university of, or at any university in Ireland. So that is what you need to know. Remember, English proficiency is very important when applying to Irish universities. And remember, I said Ireland is an English-speaking country. And now, when it comes to tuition fee will range in Ireland. This is just an average, not a fixed price, okay? You will have tuition fee range from like 6,000 euros to around 13,000 euros. It depends on the university too, okay? So that is what you are going to be paying as an international student. You will find something in between this range, okay? But what you can do now is you can always apply for a scholarship, all right? You can apply for a scholarship and your tuition fee will be reduced to 1/4 or probably half, all right? So that is what is necessary, and you need to understand. Ireland is a good country for international students because, of course, you are going to work part-time. But remember that before you apply for the visa to Ireland, you need to have paid at least 6,000 euros of your tuition fee. That is the new rule, okay? If your tuition fee is 5,000 euros per year, when you get admissions, you need to pay the entire 5,000 euros, all right? If it is 8,000 euros, let's say 8,000 euros a year, when you get admissions, you need to pay at least 6,000 out of that 8,000 euros, okay? So that is what is on ground as of now. And now, when you finish with the admissions process and you have gotten the admissions letter, the next thing you need to do now is to apply for a visa to Ireland, okay? And you applying for the visa, you need to know the visa requirements. Now, the requirements I'm going to be listing here are coming from the website, which you are going to find in the video description box, all right? So you can check the website and see which documents are there, all right? So what I'll be giving you from my jotter that I actually put down. Now, the first document you need to know, or the first thing you need to know, is the type of visa you are applying for. Remember, when you go online, you are going to see many types of visas, and you will be the one to fill the form online. All right, when you finish filling the form, you have to print it, you sign it, and you submit alongside your documents, being educational or supporting documents, to the Irish authorities, okay? Now, this is what you need to know. The visa type you are going to be applying for is called the visa stamp D, all right? It is the visa stamp D, and it is going to be the long stay visa. Remember, in most of my videos, I always say that if you are applying for a visa for study purposes, it's either a national visa when it concerns Germany, it is either a long stay visa, or it is a short stay visa that when you move to the country of residence, you are going to be given a long stay visa or a permanent or a residence permit, okay? Now, for the case of Ireland, you are going to see the transit visa on the website. You are going to see the long stay visa, which is what you are taking, and you are also going to see the short stay visa, which is not your concern, because the short stay visa is mostly for tourists and other purposes. It's less than 90 days, all right? So your own visa type is visa type D if you are applying for a school for a visa to Ireland. And when you finish filling the online form, Remember, on the online form, you are going to be putting things like your passport details, your name, your surname, alright? And when you finish that, you have to print it, sign, and you submit alongside your documents. Remember, in other cases, you might be asked to do your biometrics, alright? Or get passport size photograph and submit alongside the documents. And now, know that when you are applying for the visa, you are also going to find on the application form a single entry and a multiple entry. Single entry means that when you pay your flight and you are going to Ireland, you will go and do until your program is finished, or probably you can leave Ireland only when you have a residence permit. Okay, but multiple entries means that you will go to Ireland after a certain date, you come back, then you go again, you come back, then you go again. All right, that is how this thing is designed, and the prices for single stay is different from multiple entry. All right, for single entry is different from multiple entries. Now the price for single entries is 60 euros, and that for multiple entries is 100 euros, and the visa processing time will take at least, sometimes it will take like 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, sometimes 1 month, sometimes it will take like 1 month, 3 weeks, and sometimes it will take like 8 weeks, which is equivalent to how many? 2 months, right? It depends on how fast the embassy is. It also depends on the bulk load at the embassy, and it also depends if your documents have no lapses or corrections or issues in them. So that is what you need to know. Now, when it comes to the supporting documents, remember that your educational certificates have to be there as well. Okay, very, very important. Your educational certificates have to be present. Then again, you need to show passport photographs. I already mentioned in the few seconds ago. You need passport size photographs. Sometimes you will find the sizes or the dimensions given on the website. Okay, so that is what you should understand. Now, sometimes you will also be asked to provide some supporting documents in case you omit to submit them, in case you didn't submit at the initial stage. All right, so before you even reach at this level of the visa, it doesn't really matter, because some of these supporting documents your school might have already asked you. Okay, like I said, like the motivation letter, the CV. So when the embassy is now asking you, it is no big deal, you already have them. Now remember that the application letter you are writing, because when you are applying for the Irish visa or the visa to Ireland, you need to write an application letter. In that application letter, you are telling them why you want to apply for a visa to Ireland. You are also telling them why you have chosen the program, or you have also telling them why the program is going to be important to you, okay, in your career. These are some of the things you need. And of course, your admissions letter is very necessary. You need to show that you already have an admissions, which is the first thing you need to have even before you proceed. Again, you need to understand that the program or the admissions letter you have been given needs to have the program on it that you are going to study, that you are going to be studying, and it has to be full-time program, not part-time, not a part-time program, a full-time program. Remember, I said that tuition fee range between 6,000 euros to around 13,000 euros. It all depends. And if your tuition fee, for example, is 5,000 euros, when you get admissions, before you even start filling these visa application forms, the embassy want, or the Irish authorities want, that you pay all the first deposit of your tuition. If it is 5,000 euros, they want to see that you have paid all 5,000 euros. But for example, if your own is 8,000 euros, you must pay at least 6,000 euros. The limit is 6,000 euros in case your tuition fee is higher. I hope we understand this. Okay, now there is another thing you need to show when applying for the Irish visa. For some days now, I have been getting people, Milton, please, can I apply here? Can I apply here? Is there an age gap? Is there an age limit? There is an age limit in Ireland. For example, if you get an admission and you want to apply for the visa, when applying for the visa, if you had a period where you were not in school, if you had some absences on your period, on your academic record, for example, if you took a semester break, explain. All right, if you have been out of school for so long, explain in a letter. All right, if you, for example, if you graduate at BSc, let's say you graduated in 2014 and you are applying to Ireland in 2022 or 21, when granted the admissions, you need to show the Irish authorities why you have been out of school for so long and want to start studies again. All right, in that case, if you, like I said, if you have been working, show documents to prove that you are working. Like for me, I am working. If I decide to move to Ireland now, I will just use my employment letter, all right, to show that I am working with this particular company. And I can also support it with my pay slips to show that this is the same company and this is the pay slips they are using to pay me. Therefore, I am working. That way, your documents will be accessed very easily. All right, you need to show that. You also need to prove when applying for the visa, you also need to show English proficiency. Before you even reach this level, you must have shown that when you were doing application. Remember, it is very important for your admissions. Don't forget that. Now, you also need to show proof of funds. Proof of funds, I think I'm going to do a particular video again about proof of funds to Ireland, all right, to study in Ireland. Why you need to show proof of funds is, and it must be very huge. The Irish authorities don't want a case where you will come to Ireland and be a nuisance or be pushing them on pressure or giving the government pressure, because they are already having their own citizens to take care of them. They don't want to take care for you again. Hopefully you are going to work, and I know you will work. You will have a part-time job, but they don't want to rely on that. Okay, I hope you understand. I will do a separate video about the proof of funds, what you need and what you need to apply to the visa, for the visa to Ireland. Again, you also need to show a private medical insurance if you are moving to Ireland. This insurance is going to help you in the case that if you are sick along the way, you are going to help yourself. All right, so you need to prove that to the embassy or the authorities that you have an insurance policy that can cover you in case of sickness or any other problem. All right, you also need to show that you have been refused a visa before. In case you have applied for any country in the past and you were not given the visa, like those who came telling me that they were refused visas to Poland, you have to prove to the embassy that you have been refused visa to this particular country. Proving to them, to the embassy, because they are going to ask you, proving to them that you have been refused visa before is not like they are going to deny your admission or your visa processing. They just want to know the reason why you were refused the visa. Probably you were a criminal or something. That is going to help them. But if you were not, it was just because of certain reasons, it is no big deal. In as much as you meet your requirements, your visa will be granted. Okay, so that is something you need to know. Again, you also need your passport. Like I said, this one is needed before you even apply for the school. So passport data page, that is the passport I'm talking about. Again, you need to show proof of accommodation. When you get admissions before applying for this visa, you need to show proof of accommodation to show that you are going to come back to your home country. That is it. To show that you are going to be living in an accommodation in Ireland, not coming back to your home country. You are going to explain this in the letter, the application letter you are submitting to the embassy. Now, after a decision is made, you will either get the visa or you will either be rejected. But in most cases, you will get the visa. Now, you will, somewhere along the line, you may be like, what about those original documents I gave them? You gave them the original documents alongside your passport, international passport. Now, when you are writing your application form, state all the original documents you want them to bring back to you, okay? So that when your assessment is done and selection is done, they are going to send back your original documents to you, because those are originals. You cannot leave them out. Like I said before, Ireland is a very good country to consider. If you have the funds, please go to Ireland and study. Alright, I hope the video was helpful. If it was, please do not go without subscribing. Subscribe and support me, guys. It is very important to me. It means a lot to me. Thank you until we meet again.